Happy Thanksgiving from the Cape. It's a little chilly outside, but the sun's shining bright and the ocean's just over there. This is my story this week. It's called Second Chances, and I know I usually don't read these facing you because I'm not so good at reading, but here goes. I think this is because of the place that I'm at right now in this physical location. I think this is the best way to do it. So it's called Second Chances. When a love breaks a heart so many times it feels cold and empty, it can create a heart that cannot forgive. This is a story of such a heart. When I was 5 years old, I met a man. He looked sad and old. His hands were weathered like an old piece of leather, wrinkled leather. His skin around his eyes sagged down to the point where I wondered if he could actually close them. What was left of his thinning hair was dull, yellowish white. This was not a man I was afraid of. I felt sorry for him. I just wondered what made him so sad. No one ever talked to this man. He just sat in the corner of the only bench in the middle of the town square, looking to the sky and talking to himself. My home was just down the street from the center of town. With my trusty binoculars that my parents had given me from the Christmas before, I could see him from my bedroom window. I often wondered if he had been a boy like me, if he had hopes and dreams. I was curious if he had ever felt true love, or if he had ever had any kids. Every night before I went to bed, my mom would read me a story. Every night I would ask her about the old man. My mother would just say, "You should mind your own business and stay away from that man." I was the only child in a middle-class family. My mother was one of 13 and my dad one of 6. My papa, that is what I called my grandfather, on my father's side was the only grandparent I knew. My mother had told me that her parents had died years ago. We lived in a 2-story house with a big red front door and a screen door that slammed every time I would go through it. It was almost like a warning sign to my mother that I was coming or I was going. Our home was in a traditional middle-class neighborhood. It had a park, 2 churches, a town square, and a paved sidewalk that I enjoyed riding my bicycle on. I would often ride my bike down the street to the local store. It was a grand meeting place for parents and children alike. We, as kids, would look at the latest comic books, baseball cards, let's not forget the penny candy. The parents talked of much less important stuff. The building smelled great. It was a mixture of sawdust on the floor and scents from the soda fountain area. That was an aroma I would never forget. When my mom needed something from the store, I would ride my bike to the store and pick it up in my basket. This always made me feel good, except for my curiosity about the old man that I would pass in the town square. It was Saturday. My mom was baking a cake for my dad's birthday, and she asked me to go to the store to pick up some butter. I got on my bike and pedaled as fast as I could. The cards that I put in my spokes went clickety-clack all the way there. When I got to the store, I looked over at the old man on the bench. He was clutching at his chest, and he fell to the ground. I knew I was not supposed to talk to him, but he appeared to be in trouble. I turned my bike around and headed for the old man. When I got to him, he said, "Boy, I'm gonna die. God's waiting for me." I yelled for help, but no one heard me. They all seemed like they would be happier if this old soul would stop littering their beautiful town. Finally, a doctor whose office was just down the street heard me screaming. He came and asked me what was wrong. I told him what I saw happening to this man. He quickly ran to the emergency box on the pole in the corner of the square, and within a few minutes, the ambulance came. When I got home, I told my mother what had happened. She made a few quick phone calls and rushed out of the house and left me with our babysitter. After eating supper and taking a nice hot bath, I was watching cartoons in my Bugs Bunny jammies. Then my mom and dad came home. My dad said, "Son, we have something to tell you. That was a very heroic deed you did today. That man had a second chance in life because of you." My mom said, "And because you gave him a second chance, I need to give him a second chance. Joey, meet the man whose life you saved today. This is your papa, my father, Joseph." I was confused, yet happy, and I could see my mother was happy. My papa seemed to be reborn. He felt full of love and energy as he leaned down and held me in his arms and whispered, "Thank you, Joey. Love you." Now, 20 years later, I look back on that day and realize that blood is thicker than water. I cherish every moment that I have in this world and the people that make its existence possible. It has taught me not to judge and to be open to all. My papa taught me this, and I love him. May he rest in peace. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I hope everybody shares and appreciates the love that's all around them. Thanks for listening. If you like the content, please subscribe, and if you know anybody who would like to experience this content, please share. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.